Okay, today we're going to talk about the cost of practicing, or maybe I'll call it investing in your practice. Because let's face it, any other sport, there is a cost to wanting to practice. If you're going to practice golf, you got to buy a bunch of golf balls or go to a place, a driving range, and invest in working on honing your shot. And so I'm going to revisit the whole idea of having some practice discs. Now, you don't have to go overboard like me, because if I need to do something right, I tend to overdo it. So you don't have to be as crazy as I am, but we're going to talk about having some practice discs to help you groove in your shot right after the intro. Okay, so I have my practice grouping set up here, and normally if I'm just going to do a few of them, I may throw it in this Atlas bag. We'll hold about 30 something discs, which is great. But to be honest, when I'm practicing, a lot of times I prefer this Tupperware that I got. I believe I got them Walmart, Home Depot. They're just Sterilites, and they'll hold about 20 discs each. And between that and my little grabber tool, I'll just take a box out and I will practice with those. But what I have here is I've been taking advantage of remix discs to be able to buy. I get 12 of each one for $99, and you know, it'll come and go which ones will be available. But so I just got the haymakers, I got 12 of them. And what I do is I take 10 of them and I put them in here and I number them 1 through 10. That way I'll know which one I'm missing, and I keep 2 to the side. One I may play with and one I'll have as a backup. But I like to just keep 10 because it's easier for me to remember and to count. And so then I've done the same thing with the Spartans. And then I've got stuff over here. So I've got my, if you saw my video last week, I've got my creatures, and then I've got my torpedoes. Oop, torpedoes over here. And so I've got mid-ranges. These over here are my 9 speeds. Then I've got my, here we've got my bergs and my pigs. I've got 8 of both of those because they're so fat. They, 10 couldn't fit in there. But then I have, moving up, I've got my, let's see what we got here. I've got the trolls, which are 7.5, and then the behemoth. It really bothers me that I have the 7.5 and the 13. I don't have more of each. I'd like to put these in their own thing, you know, my OCD, having a 13, 7.5, but I had 2 9s, so I didn't want to go 7.5, 9, 9, 13. So some of y'all are with me on that. And then I have a set of Envy putters, and then I have 5 of the Remix Eldritch, and then I just have a couple extra of discs that I have, multiples that I just have if I want to play around with them, try them out. So anyway, yeah, that's a big mess. And now the thing is, besides the putters that I got a set of 5 or 6, buying as a set is going to be cheaper. They were all $99 for 12. And let's face it, besides now the bergs and the pigs, I accumulated along the way, that's separately. But so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 sets of remix discs in here, so that was $600. And then I did the MVP MVP Envies a while back that I think were around about $100 each. But so I've got probably total here, I've got about $800 worth of discs just in practice discs. And yes, that's a lot. And I haven't done it all at once. This is over a year or so of me collecting. You know, I'm like, oh, I got $100 for my birthday or something like that. Let me get another set of discs. And here's the thing is, now that I've gotten to where I've gotten used to practicing with the same set of discs, I'm addicted to it. Because if you watch my video from last week about the Is Pain Good, where I'm practicing shots that I need, having 10 of the same disc, I can groove it in and see, is it that I'm throwing it wrong, or it's the wrong disc for the hole? It gives you that consistency. Remember, I come from a tennis background, and one of the best things for practicing was the backboard. Just get to groove in that shot, to get the repetitiveness of that. We want to build in the competency and just keep honing that in. Well, if we have to change our angle and our grip every time we're throwing a disc, it's just a little bit different. Whereas if we've got 10 of the same discs, we can throw those 10 and go, what was good, what was bad, what was good, what was bad. Remember, practice is all about, you want to get the best yes or no answers to everything you do. Clarity is going to help you to improve quickly. So if you've got 10 of the same discs and you're throwing 8 of them dead on the money and 2 just kind of go off to the side, that means you got, every now and again, you got a little flaky something. But if you're throwing 10 of them and 5 of them are going off to the side, then you might have a form problem. Does that make sense? The problem when you're just switching discs, every time you make a missed throw, you're going, is that the disc? Is that me? I'm not sure, because there's new variables in there. And when we're practicing, when we're training, when we're learning, we want to eliminate as many variables as possible and then give ourselves the potential to hone in, to work on those shots, to build in that consistency. And I think investing in discs is a great way to do it. Now, I started out, I got the torpedoes first. The 5 speeds. I got 12 of those, and I put 10 of, I actually had all 12 at the beginning, but they're pretty point and shoot with a little fade. If nothing else, that's a great place to start. It is a simple mid-range that you can really work on your discs and your throws and just go, okay, how am I doing? How consistently am I throwing? And that's where going to a batting cage with these guys is so helpful too, because then it's just a target 60 feet away, a little target that you can put up there. How consistently am I throwing the exact same disc right at that spot? Am I able to consistently keep hitting that spot, or am I kind of falling all over the place? What's going on? It'll be amazing how quickly you start to feel that consistency kick in, which will give you a boost of confidence that will help you be more relaxed out on the course. Because let's face it, we want to be relaxed when we're out there throwing. Tension is not good for smoothness. So now what I do, I'm never going to bring all 60 of these guys out here at one time because my arm would fall off. Usually I'm working on one particular thing. Today, I'm probably going to work on my forehand throws. And so that's where I'm going to be trying to throw the Spartan, the Troll, and maybe the Haymaker, depending on what I want to do. Because here you have the Spartan, which is a 9-speed, but it's a -2. It's kind of a flippy disc. Where the Troll is more like a T-board. It's more stable with a little overstability at the end. So it's kind of got that little bit more fight to it. And then I can pull out the Haymaker, which is just a 4 fade that's just going to work on that very overstable shot. So now I can work on the 3 stages of my forehand and backhand with a fairway driver. Same thing with the mid-ranges. I've got the torpedo that is just going to be nice and straight with a little stability. And then I've got the creature, which is a flippy. It's a -3 turn on it for the understable. And then I have a couple gladiuses. This is the one area that I don't have as many overstable mid-ranges as I'd like. But that's kind of my wish list for the next time I have a little extra money. I can maybe pick up a few of those. But that way I'm covering all 3 shots. I'm going understable, stable, straight, and overstable. And then I can work on those 3. That's the same thing with the putters. I've got the Bergs and I've got the Envies. And then I've really only got 13 speed. I've just got the Behemoths, because that's really the only thing available. I got a couple 10s in there, but I wanted to get one of the extra long ones. And it basically is like a destroyer. And let's face it, that's kind of your good middle of the road, what you kind of want to work on for the long distance drivers. But for me, most of the time, I'm working on accuracy more. So I want to look at putters, mid-ranges, and fairway drivers. And then I have the, distance drivers when I need to play with that. But really what I'm usually trying to work on is my accuracy and my consistency. And that's where this comes into play. And yes, I know it's asking a lot for people to spend money on a bunch of discs, because it looks kind of ridiculous. I mean, look at this. This is just my practice disc. We won't even get into all the other discs that are on my shelf in my office, but these are the ones that are sitting there ready to go for when I feel like I need to practice and work on something. And that's the other flip side to it. These guys keep me accountable, because I'll look at them and go, oh, I need to work on this. I need to practice that. They're visual reminders that I do need to practice. Because if you just have your bag in your car, hey, I need to go play, and I just go out and throw a little bit and bebop around. But these guys are purpose-driven for getting better. And so they give me some accountability with doing that. So there you go. All right, that's my hard sell for today. Everybody's got their own thing, but I think if you can, at least start maybe getting a batch of the exact same mid-ranges and then maybe putters, because those are the ones that are going to be working on your drives and making sure that you're getting those consistent drives down. So anyway, there you go. That's what I got for today. Now I'm going to sit out here and throw a little bit, but let's face it, the good stuff's already gone. You can click off, go do other stuff. But I may throw a few and you're welcome to hang out or go watch Robbie's or somebody else's channel, and have a great day. All right, take care. So since I already did the creatures and the torpedoes last week, and I'm not gonna do the behemoth today. I'm not throwing 13 speeds today, and I'm not gonna do putters. You know, it's kind of like going to the gym. What am I working on today? Legs, shoulders. Obviously, I go to the gym all the time, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. So I think for this go around, I'm just gonna do my 9 speeds. So I've got my haymakers, which are 9404. Just got these. I haven't even, I mean, they're brand new out of the box. Haven't even thrown them yet. And then I've got the Spartans, which are a 96 -21. These remind me of a Valkyrie, whereas the haymakers are basically a Firebird. And so it's not an exact 1-to-1, but let's face it, if I get good throwing these, I can easily just switch over. When I have my Valkyrie, when I have my Firebird, if I'm throwing those, it's an easy switch over because it's really just a slight tweak. It's getting down the basics of the throw, and then we're good to go, even though that rhymed. And so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna work on recreating the second part of my practice from last week. Was once I got up to the top of the hill, how to get down the road, and do I wanna, a lot of times you're standing on a sloped terrain like this, how do I wanna curve around? If I have the backhand, I have to really work with the terrain, whereas if I can stand still and throw a nice forehand, that would be ideal. But that means I gotta work on that forehand, that turnover forehand. The problem is, if I cut it too much, it hits the side of the hill, cuts OB. Or if I don't connect enough, it's gonna fade out and go OB. So I gotta work on that. And so that's a good thing to do today. So what I'm gonna do, the nice thing is the first shot going on hole number 1 was too particular. I could only practice that there. But I can recreate the second shot right here by simply coming down here. And this is gonna represent the slope that I would stand on in that middle ground for my second shot. And then the basket there is gonna represent, it's pretty much where I wanna go with the shot. Now what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna make that bush on the right side. If I hit the bush on the right side, I've gone OB. I wanna try to swing it around and push just inside that tree there. Now I could go a little bit on the outside of it, and that's not the end of the world, but my goal is to throw a forehand that cuts around here and then cuts back right at the basket just inside the tree there. And that's gonna be an ideal shot for me to throw on hole number 1, but I can practice it right here. I think I'll go with the haymakers first, because let's face it, I ran out here during lunch, completely left my camera at home, had to run back, have not stretched, but time is of the essence, so I'm just gonna do what I can. Hopefully I won't break anything, including my back or my knee. But so these are probably gonna be a little short because I'm gonna take this a little easy, but I'm really looking more for the flight than the distance on these, if that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to be working on, I've got an upward slope, and I'm gonna be trying to send this around and let it cut back. But I wanna keep this fairly controlled. I don't just wanna flail it. I wanna get that nice line right here. Yep. Yeah, I felt a little tug. I should actually probably try a couple throws. All right, here we go. Little inside, that would crash. OB. A little bit better outside. I still need to keep it around a little bit more. These are nice and stable. Better. You see, I'm able to start grooving my shot by throwing the same thing over again. I want to leave something in that just happened here, but I'm not going to, because it's another just wonderful example of society just doesn't care about how they intrude on other people's lives. Okay, so now I'm going with the Spartan, which is an understable. So I need to put this out here and let it do the work and then fade back. The danger with this is I got to make sure I don't curl over. I want to keep it nice and flat and let it do the work. Over, But see, I need to get it, that's a nice curve, but I need to be able to let it cut back, float back. I got a little higher, it's gonna give it a little more. Well, good news. I just did an entire thing, didn't film a bit of it. It was 20 minutes of me talking to you. It was gorgeous, it was wonderful. But let's try it again once I pick all these up. This is why I love the Tupperware and my little scooper. Just walk along, grab and drop. Such a back saver. And then the most important thing is to count them to make sure you have them all. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. Dang it. I gotta go find one. And of course it's the red guy sitting out in the grass. There's a reason why I chose the disc that I will lose the most for my practice ones and kept some of the better looking ones that I may keep in my bag. But it's a double-edged sword because like this guy was in the grass and I couldn't find it. In just 10 minutes, I can throw this twice, and so that means I've thrown 40 shots. You know, that's almost as much as a round sometimes. So just being able to come out 10, 15 minutes throwing these is gonna be such a good practice for you. So I'm gonna do it one more time, and then we're gonna get out of here. And here's the other thing. Hopefully this second time around, I've gotten a little practice in, should be warmed up a little bit better. Hopefully we're gonna see a little improvement. All right, same thing. I'm like over here. I'm just doing a standstill, working on it. I pulled that one over a little bit. It's gonna be okay because it's nice and stable. Yep. Oh, I dug that into the ground. Thank you, Haymaker, for saving me. All right, let's drive through it, Pete. Nose up, didn't commit, gone. That's the one I'll forget about and have trouble finding later. Nope, still a little nose up. That's my miss on the forehand. It's like when I'm throwing backhand, I tend to saw it off. Forehand, I do the same thing. Drive through it. Oh, God. Having a weird day. This shows me I need to keep coming back out here with these guys. Because let's face it, if I just thrown a couple, you know, I'll get a good shot and I'll think, oh, I'm doing all right. You throw 10 of the same shots, you'll see where your problems lie. Can you do it consistently? It's better. All right, learned a little at the end there. So there you go. I hope that makes sense. I hope that encourages you to maybe Christmas, birthday, start thinking about those things when somebody asks you, hey, what can I get you? Maybe a little remix or something, a set of something so that you could be working on them. Doesn't have to be remix. But anyway, there you go, guys. Thank you so much for being with me, and I hope to see you. Ooh, I'm choking on pollen. Out on the course. Gotta go.